which way it's gonna break.
Oh, look in front of you, Bob. I'm not feeling the best, if I'm completely honest. Like, I don't know what it is. I was considering not recording this again, but it's like, I feel like I just gotta push myself, because I have been procrastinating. Since the killing, I had a bit of post-series depression. I'm sure you guys know what that feels like. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and then it just took me a bit too long to like sort of come round to watching again. Last reaction felt like the final episode of a season, but it was actually the first. And we sort of now move on to the next part. And once again into the unknown. There's no Terminus. There's no governor. There's just a big black hole of where do we go. I don't think it will be, was it California they were trying to get to? I just feel like that's not going to be, yeah, I don't see that happening. And then there's those really weird symbols. I've actually got a weird theory about, if I'm completely honest with you. I don't know, I've got a weird feeling we're being tracked because of what we've just done. And then there was this whole thing about should Rick feel like he needs to go kill them, and there was this big plot about these people have been broken before, we've broken them again. I don't know, it's just this odd feeling like we're being followed. Straight on from last season. No, not last season, it was the last episode. Oh, that's right. I mean, there's her whole thing about being involved with...
Glenn told me you saved his life.
He saved mine.
You're one of us now, come on.
It works with us, right?
Right.
Get something to eat. Start back at 7.
Come on!
Some of them know what you did at the prison.
Oh, so it's not... This
Maggie.
conversation's not over.
They accept it. I'm gonna talk to the rest of them. Tell them to accept it too.
Well, if Tyrese can accept it, they can. That's
You don't need
great.
to tell them about the girls. I don't want to. I just need to.
Oh, for God's sakes, I already feel overwhelmed because my brain's not like jumping to everything that's going on because I am not feeling the best. Like, I feel laggy. How does Carol change her way about how she approaches the development of children? Like, she was secretive before. I do not know what to expect going forward with her and her interpretation of situations, you know, because I thought maybe she was sort of changing her, rather than just sort of jumping to doing things without deliberation. I thought she was potentially going to be changing that kind of focus, but I don't know. The only person now is Beth. When on earth? Wait, hold on. Has Daryl even said anything to Maggie? Surely Maggie's aware, right? Or has she just assumed her sister's dead? So I really hope that we don't end up with a situation where she feels like we've abandoned her, you know?
It's in one of their storerooms.
I saw them kill him. That kid.
Yeah. The one that apparently no one recognised except... Like, that's crazy. I immediately knew who that was.
I sent you away to this, and now we're joining you. Will you have us?
Carol did what she did, and I will hold my belief that what she did, she shouldn't have done the way she did, but it was probably the right decision ultimately, right? It's one of those things, or maybe, we don't know if it was the right decision. It could have been, it could not have been. She made a decision because she cared about the people she was around and she wanted to protect them. I'm not going to be the one to say whether that's right or wrong, because I feel like, I don't know, like, morally it's too tough of a situation to answer. Because you're doing it for a reason to protect people, but in the same instance you're hurting people. So in that case it sort of becomes a matter of balancing which outweighs the other, you know. And some people might think one's more moral, some people might think the other is, blah, 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 blah. It's all about dilemmas. I was waiting for this conversation. I thought we just weren't going to get it. I thought we were going to get this big, like, reunion, she saved them, boom. But we do get it. You saved us. Is it alright for us to follow you? That's mental. And of course, like I said, the reason I really like Carol is because I don't see her as a cold, heartless character. I think every decision she makes, it takes a toll on her. Very similar to Rick. Some people aren't like that in the apocalypse. The parallel I see between them is that they bear the weight of their decisions. So good that these two are back together. Finally. But it's just Beth now. For me, it's just all about Beth. Oh, God's sakes. If my theory's right about them being tracked, that's what that is. The other thing, something just popped into my mind, which it won't be right, and this will just be some weird thing that I've thought about, but you know how Terminus had all their signs up being like, sanctuary for all, for come this way, blah, 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 and all the signs almost, at first, they were genuine, as we find out later in the episode, but they all sort of become like a trap. It's like, ultimately, they've drawn the wrong group of people. But what I'm trying to say is, imagine this is like some kind of reverse attempt to draw everyone in their direction. I don't know. Oh gosh, hiccups.
No tracks, no nothing.
So whatever you heard last night.
That's not what I felt. Someone's watching us. That would have been something.
Well, could it be Morgan? But he was looking at that symbol. He was watching the symbol. I just don't have a feeling it's going to be him. Could it be that guy that Tyrese left alive? Because I had a feeling that he left him alive. He didn't kill him. He just beat him.
Come on.
So that's like, damn, so that's probably flourished now.
At that.
Man, good for them.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, I'd be careful.
Come on.
Okay, maybe it is legit.
You okay?
Nope.
Thank you. I'm Gabriel.
Do you have any weapons on you?
Gabriel.
Do I look like I would have any weapons?
We don't give too short and curly is what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no weapons of any kind.
Oh, it's so weird seeing them a part of the group because, like, now we're going to see the dynamics bounce off each other. You know, having multiple people sort of as leaders. I know Rick's obviously our leader, but having different people sort of step in and say what they need to say and different... It just feels more cohesive because we've all developed in our own ways and become leaders in our own ways and we've all sort of gained our voices. Something feels good about that. I don't know why this scene
The
particularly...
word of God is the only protection I need.
Sure didn't look like it.
The word of God is the only protection I need.
I called for help. Help came.
Why do I think, like, Rick's just reading him up and down, eh? Oh.
Do you have a camp?
No. Do you?
I have a church.
Hold your hands above your head.
A church?
How many walkers have you killed?
Oh, questions again.
Not any, actually.
Turn around.
He didn't spill any blood at all.
Because the Lord abhors violence.
Ugh, blimey. Now, one thing I will say that this show has taught me is I've got a bad feeling like this is going to be one of those examples of having too much faith in something. I don't know, have we really had a character that's been like that yet? Maybe it's just from other shows and other movies and stuff that this is being biased by, but I just can't help but feel like someone that believes that much in the fact that violence can't be in this world. This is mental. This is mental because someone said to me, it's amazing to see your progression from where you started in all your thoughts and very, very moral and everything you said to now, because now it's so much more complex and there's so much more what ifs and buts and but no, but what about this situation? No, but what about that situation? And as you find out, morality is far more complex. In fact, morality is incredibly complex. Like a lot of people say, oh, it's not about morals. If anything, it's more about morals than ever because every situation will change the moral perspective. There's no blanket morality. It's so much more complex and it's almost too hard to think about. And that's when we lead down this road of, oh, it's not about morality, it's about safety and survival because there's less opportunity to consider it thoroughly or consider it in the right way, which leads to wrong decisions. Hence why we have mistakes, right? But I'm just nervous. This guy just makes me nervous already just because of the... Yeah.
What have you done? We've all done something.
Maybe he's made
I
mistakes
sin almost every day.
before the
But those
apocalypse.
sins, I confess them to God.
But what the hell?
Nowadays, people are just as dangerous as the dead, don't you think?
No.
Yeah, and people that you don't understand, for God's sakes. That's the other thing as well. Like, you can't assume everyone's bad, but you equally cannot assume everyone's good. I have got this big cloud over this guy's head right now and question marks. I do not trust until I know. And I think that's one thing we all have learned.
Maybe I'm leading you into a trap so I can steal all your squirrels.
Bro, what the... Say, you don't joke.
Members of my flock had often told me that my sense of humor leaves much to be desired.
Yeah, it does.
Bro, I'm sorry, but Rick is not here to be played with. Saint Sarah's
Hold up.
Church.
You take a look around first.
So he just has a church. It's not the most fortified place though, is it? But then again, who's gonna want to break into a church? Like, when you think of a church, do you even think there's anything in there that's worth breaking in for? What would you rather? Would you rather be in a place where no one breaks into, where it lacks the things you need to survive, or a place that has the things you need to survive but everyone wants into? What would you rather? What was that piece of paper? No, go back and find it. On the outside, this just looks like, yeah, the church. But how has he survived? Where's the... Oh, there's all the food. It's just cans. So maybe he ran out. Maybe that's why he ventured off into the distance.
Looks like we found ourselves some transport.
What, to get
You understand
to
what's at
California?
stake here, right?
Yeah, but does he
Yes, I
believe
do.
that?
Now that we can take a breath.
We take a breath, we slow down.
I think Rick's skepticism's just on his face. Like, part of me feels like Rick's almost at the point where he's just like, our group's survival is the most important thing. It's not about other people anymore, you know? Like, it's about surviving this world. That's just the vibe I get. I don't know.
Not splitting up again.
What he said.
I've got a
you
feeling he
survive
feels a
here
bit
for so
betrayed, you know? Because
Where did your supplies
he
come
went
from?
through all of that with them, with the intention of going to California or wherever it is, right? And then they're just like, sorry, but...
I don't trust this guy. And why? Why do you trust him?
Everybody can't be bad.
No, but you gotta be... that's the thing, true, but you
Well,
have to be pessimistic.
never let your guard down. Ever. Won't you
Wow.
promise me? Okay.
It just reminds me so much of when Rick was... before everything that's happened to Rick and the weight of being a leader. That's what Carl reminds me of. We can still protect everyone and we can still help other people. We will help other people. I'm scared. I really am scared for the day that Carl... a decision like that doesn't end well. If you think about this, right? If your mindset is, we don't help other people because we don't trust them. And in any situation that you're in where you need help from another person that you don't know, you have to assume that they will have that same view as you. So then you've got this sort of paradox of, do you trust people or don't you?
Oh, he's hiding something.
He's hiding something, see? And I believe Rick.
Whatever happened, happened. Let's start over.
Oh, them two.
I want to.
Well, you can. Do you care, Rose?
Oh gosh, of
Can't
course these two
imagine
end up
ghosts
together.
having leftovers nowadays.
And I said this as well. Did we get a segment where Maggie found out that she was involved? I can't remember. Because I remember thinking to myself, I said something, I don't know if I included it in the reaction, but I remember saying something about Maggie where, for some reason out of all the characters, she gives me like, I don't know, she gives me vibes like she really struggled to forgive initially. Whereas other people might, like Tyrese, right? He's like very quickly just sort of accepted. I love Maggie, by the way. I think she's a fantastic character, one of my favourite characters. But I just get this vibe from her that she could potentially become quite cold to people that she despises. Is that just me?
Is it a walker?
Yeah. Really?
What did he do?
Stack of boxes and a mop. And I tripped.
Hey,
Yeah,
said you're coming with us.
what has he done that's like... He's done something to people, eh? It's not walkers either, it's people.
I see three here.
But what if there's a walker just under the water? Like, can walkers drown? I always think about these things because of those traps. Those single line traps. They don't make sense to me. He recognises them, doesn't he? I see guilt for some reason. Oh, for God's sake. What are you doing? Oh gosh, now they're even more underwater. knows, maybe he broke into like some place, stole their food, and resulted in them all getting infected or something, you know? But see what I mean by like being too like driven by, I don't want to say that faith driven, but just negligence or the inability to adapt will end up in you dying. You can say, oh God save me, but...
I know which way it's gonna break.
Oh, look in front of you, Bob. Look at them, man, slipping in the water. Looks like something off a Pirates of the Caribbean. Rancid.
Yeah, I get it. You know, you tell your sins to God.
Maybe people came to him for help, I don't know, and he refused them. Imagine that. Imagine that was one of his sins, that people came knocking on his door and he's like, go away. Damn, look at their haul, man.
We found food, a lot of it. Good. Those scratches? They're deep. Like knives or something.
Yeah, people try to break in.
Someone was trying to get in.
What did I just say? He refused to help people, didn't he? Oh, you'll burn for this. Look at this, man.
To the survivors.
Damn, so that's why someone said to me that the group name's called The Survivors.
And we get Eugene to Washington, and he will make the dead
Washington,
die, and the
not
living will
California.
have this world again. And that is not a bad takeaway for a little road trip.
That's his idea, but there's
Eugene,
we don't know enough about how,
what's in
why,
DC?
what.
Infrastructure constructed to withstand pandemics even of this FUBAR magnitude. That means food, fuel, refuge.
Also assuming that there hasn't
Restart.
already been ransacked, you know?
Save the world for that little one.
But do I think we have anything else to fight for right now? Probably not, so maybe we should make a leap of faith.
Save
But
for yourselves.
we will have casualties, I guarantee you.
What was that? I think she knows what I'm about to say. She's in. Let's do it.
I'm not letting my brother be the only one that
I
gets to
don't
hold
know.
that baby.
I don't know. I
Wait.
don't know. I don't want to make my viewpoint on it. Oh no. He got bit, didn't he?
I was at the prison with the governor.
I hope I've completely misjudged Maggie and how she'd react. I
I
pray.
didn't want it to be hidden. You're here with us now.
Oh wow. Okay, so I misjudged the yeah, I misjudged it. It probably got something to do with well that she saved. It's probably got a big thing to do with the fact that she saved Glenn and vice versa. I just felt, I don't know why, but I just had this feeling about Maggie which made me feel like she could have a darker side. I don't know. Sorry guys, I'm utterly knackered. I knew that filming this was going to be difficult. Like, I've got 7 minutes left, but my eyes, the light, and I feel utterly dead. This has not been a great reaction, I must say.
If what you're hiding somehow hurts them in any way,
You're going to know
I'll kill
about
you.
it. Whoa. Wait, what? What's Carol doing outside so late? Alone as well.
What are you doing?
Oh,
I don't know.
no, don't. How much on the bet they look like Beth's car? It freaking is.
they got back.
Whoa. Why are they still using the governor's name? Like, what the hell? So that's the cast. What are they doing just boosting around, you know, this local area? Like, what the... I'm so scared that the Beth's dead, eh? Because if someone did take her, why would they take her and why would they just keep her alive for an extensive period of time? What? Was that who I think it was?
You're back with us, huh?
Oh my days.
You're not dead yet. We didn't want to hurt you.
before.
You would literally get to kill
There are things
them, you
we gotta
mug.
do. Now we're out here like.
What did I say at the start of this
everybody
episode? What did I
else, trying to
say?
survive.
We have to hunt. Idiot.
We evolved.
Oh, look. The girl at the walker. Yeah,
now-
see?
We've devolved. At the end of the day, no matter how much we hate all this ugly business, a man's gotta eat.
Oh. That is disgusting. He's eating him in front of him.
You taste much better than we thought you would.
Oh my god. Okay, so, bar the fact that I'm not feeling well, guys, that reaction ended on... For the most part, it did feel like an odd reaction, I will say that much. It felt a lot harder to react to. I think it's just, like I said, whenever it's a clean slate and there's a new leaf that gets turned over, it always becomes a little bit like, oh gosh, like everything's confusing, we just gotta watch. So this reaction probably will be shorter, but the most important bulk of what I want to talk about is that very, very last piece. It's funny because right before we had the Terminus, was it not the first episode of the season? I was sort of talking about Terminus and like, the only reason I could think they could keep them alive is to kill them and then to eat their body, their fresh meat, because they would need it to be fresh, otherwise it would be gross, it would go off, it would, you know, they can't eat walker flesh, so they have to eat fresh human flesh. So that's what they're doing. They literally, so they're keeping him alive, chopping him up limb by limb, eating him. Oh my freaking god. And it's a revenge mission. I even said this, that if we left them alive, why do I get the feeling that they're like tracking us, like some kind of tracking? The only, and I mean only thing that I'm now thinking, thank freaking goodness, is that Morgan is most likely now behind them. Because we saw him on his way. Oh shit, actually, double check there's no post-credit scene. But yeah, Morgan was on his way. Think about what happened to him the first time. Think about what we just did to them. Now think of the rent. They turned into cannibals because of what happened last time. Think about what's going to happen now. So that's the spoiler right there. It's just Carol with long hair. I hate that. Yeah, no. Anyway, I saw someone refer to them as the termites, so I'm going to start calling them that. They have returned, and it's a revenge mission. It's all because, like I theorized, if they were still alive, if Rick left them alive, it would breed consequences. And I said this because it's happened before, it will happen again. And that's why I keep saying, like, maybe there's a time in the apocalypse when you can't be moral. And you can't think about being a good person. Season 1 me, Season 2 me even, probably would have saw Rick's situation when he was like, we're going to kill them all. And I would have thought to myself, what are you doing? But after being through everything that we've been through, and after experiencing all of it, and the bad of humanity, I just had a horrible feeling. Now, I'm not saying that we're horrible people for what we did. If anything, we showed them mercy, right? We escaped Terminus the only way we were able to, and didn't enact like what Rick was trying to enact, which was basically cleansing the place. They were going to eat us, for goodness sake, so how did they expect us to react? But this is what I'm saying, it's almost delusion. It's not even a matter of these people are psychopaths. Because, well, maybe they are. They've lost their minds, right? That what they went through, it's traumatic. They've been broken. They've been destroyed inside. Mentally, they are not who they were. It's crucial to think about that. And in their eyes, we've done exactly what happened to them the first time, or similar. But they can't see what they're doing and how what they're doing might create a response in some people that we had. But anyway, I don't know if I can say much about that, guys, because it's all really, really early in the stage. The point is Bob's being taken. Doesn't look good, man. I'd be surprised if Bob survives, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, they've got him. They're eating him bit by bit. Why on earth would they keep him alive? And if they're eating bloody limbs, it's only a matter of time before he's literally just a body, a head, no limbs, no arms, no legs. And then they kill him. And yeah, on top of that, Carol and Daryl have seemingly spotted the car that took Beth, so they're on their way to find them, to go after them, figure out where Beth is. Boom. So we've sort of almost got multiple things going on at once, so it's starting to amp it all up again. But anyway, I can't speak, guys. My brain's all over the place. I feel like I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna go edit it. I'm gonna see how I feel, and then I may come back and talk to you guys after.